I do follow the law. All right, we're gonna look at Boeing. A lot of people want me to look at Boeing. Okay. It's weird because my Boeing didn't autocomplete. Let's see. Okay, it autocompleted that time, at least. Let's read the 10K together. This is the first thing Warren Buffett does when he looks at a stock. He reads the 10K. Can't be that bad of a first step, right? I like to keep my notes in a file just because, I don't know, does it help you guys remember things? I remember things whether or not I take notes. I think it's good for collaborative work too. Like if you have a team, this is one of the better methods because your team can put their notes in and something like that. I'm actually kind of working on a software that would make that a little easier. But the other big problem, the other big reason to take notes is if you don't take notes, you lose the information from period to period. It's pretty hard to analyze these. You'd have to open up every 10K and stack them up against each other. It's a little impractical, so a better way to do it is to do it the way I'm doing it right now. All right, so at least at the time of the 10K, they had, there's more recent information, but at the time of the 10K, they had 610 million shares outstanding. That's 175 bucks a share. So that's 100 bill market cap. That's Boeing, BA, classic stock. I haven't been following the company for that long, but I've certainly looked at it for about 25 years. But never in great detail, you know. So I'm not going to pretend I was a Boeing analyst. I think for a hot minute I did look at defense stocks, but not that in depth. Oh boy, 1 second, guys. We got a lot going on right now. All right, let's see here. It's funny because even with all their problems, they haven't really one second. Talking to a couple of my colleagues real quick. Okay, so I guess Boeing split a bunch of times, right? So like in the 70s it was like $1 and kept going up. In the 90s it was like $36. In the dot-com bubble peak it was $40. Kind of crashed to $20, went up all the way to $70 or $80. And was this when their problems started? No, that was just the great financial crisis. Back down again to $20. Huge run to $200, even $400. Wow, wouldn't that have been amazing to buy Boeing? It's 2009. The financial crisis is over theoretically. Nobody has any job or money, but imagine you had a big pile of money and you just said, you know what, I just want to buy classic American stocks. So I'm going to buy Boeing. and you bought a bunch of Boeing, and maybe you bought Coca-Cola and Pfizer and all this stuff, but your Boeing stock would have gone from 20 to 400. Holy moly, in just 10 years. Woo! That's you don't see that often. Yeah, you know, and it's not like some kind of high-tech growth company. Like, this is a company that is very old and whatever. Okay, so then the stock kind of crashed, I guess, because of various problems with the company's quality. Okay. I remember when the plane crashes happened first. It was definitely a wild time. Okay, so now we're left with a $100 billion company. What does that mean? Well, they have commercial airplanes. That's one business. They have defense, space, and security. That's another business. And then they have global services. That's their third business. All right, so for airplanes, probably their easiest business to understand. You've got 737, narrow body, 767 wide body, 777 wide body, and 787 wide body. They're working on a couple other planes, the 777X in development, the 737-7 in development, and the 737-10 in development. Okay. For defense, they do what you would think: aircraft and weapon systems. Aircraft, manned and unmanned. Okay. Commercial satellites. Is that how you spell satellites? Yeah, okay. Global services. This is just servicing the other two businesses. Okay. They really have two businesses in a way. 171,000 employees. And a bunch in the union. 57,000 union members. Anyone see Kamala's speech last night? We watched it in our office. I thought she did a decent job, actually. But she didn't really say anything. It was just all like optimism. She was a little scary. I agree. She was a little weird at the start. She was just kind of laughing and smiling. Anyway, let's get back to Boeing. I don't want to talk about Kamala Harris. Air tax plan was definitely not good. Definitely not a good tax plan. All right, so they finally, look at that, they listed SpaceX as their competitor. Airbus is basically their Airbus and some Chinese companies, and then defense, they've got Lockheed, Northrop. What's Northrop's ticker? Is it still NSE? Raytheon, General Dynamics, and SpaceX. And a couple of others. All right. All right, so the 737-9, I guess, there's a ton of problems there. And then you have the 737 MAX. We all remember that one. Okay. Boeing was founded in 1916. 110 years old almost. Or, yeah, 108. So the FAA is a regulatory body for them. I think this window is too wide. Let me resize it. The Edgar thing is so bad, man. It's Chrome and Edgar. All right. Non-US customers accounted for 42% of our revenue. That's more than I would have thought, actually. %37 US government contracts. And what was it, 42%? So I'm guessing for defense, the entire thing is US government contracts, which makes sense. Okay, so we've got the KC-46A tanker, the MQ-25, the T-7A Red Hawk, the VC-25B presidential aircraft. I'm guessing that is also called Air Force One. Let's see, VC-25B presidential aircraft. Oh, this is the military version of the Boeing 747. So that is also called Air Force One. It's a military 747. Tail number 28,000 and tail number 29,000. Air Force One and Air Force Two, or maybe there are two Air Force Ones, I don't know. $325 million. Kind of funny, right? Just kind of neat. Cost type contracting, okay. I thought it was more of that was cost plus. Interesting. Okay, let's see here. Floor space. Okay, so this is just factory space. So air traffic is back to pre-COVID levels, even though I guess China is not. Airline financial performance, I guess it's quite important for them. Industry-wide profit of $23 billion. It's more than I would have thought. That's a pretty slow-growing business, isn't it? 42,000 new airplanes over the next 20 years. Okay. I should probably write that down. 42,505 new airplanes needed globally in the next 20 years. This is the 2023 10K. Okay. Here is like a brief description of the companies. Really, really abridged. So they've been growing revenue. Where's all the hate coming from? Why are there so many haters? Revenue was 62 billion, then 66 billion, then 77 billion. Okay, haters. Plebs get mad. Yeah, Zoom was a quick one, right? Good for you guys. You can email me about Godel, or email our team. Martin@dl.software is my email. Martin@dl.software. Our company is called DL Software, so hopefully that's helpful. I'm not afraid to board a Boeing, absolutely not. All right, let's keep going here. I'm not sure about the profit or loss. I want to look at the cash flow. You know what they call me. Okay, here's the disaggregation of revenue. Oh no, my windows went crazy. All right, so airplanes, 14 billion, 26 billion, 34 billion. Defense, 26 billion, 23 billion, 25 billion. Okay. Services, 16 billion, 17 or 18 billion, and then 19 billion. Oh, by the way, guys, I did, I co-hosted Pirate Wires. So Pirate Wires is, like basically, I guess, Peter Thiel's media company, or Founders Fund's media company. It's very cool, very edgy, very hip. And I co-hosted it this week, so check that out when it comes out. It should be coming out later today. No, I appreciate the super tip, thank you. I haven't looked at Bitcoin mining stocks. Sorry, I don't know them very well. I'll look at them at some point. So at least on a GAAP basis, all these businesses seem to be running at a loss, but all of you guys know that that's not always the full story, because you're smart and you know finance because you watch me, and you're not a noob. We hate noobs around here. All those other channels, they're all fucking noobs. Oh, I hate noobs. They're the worst. Biggest noob in the world is my cat. Where is she? She's gonna come around here later, and she's gonna be like, "Nice homework." It's not, and whatever if I like it, she's gonna say, "I don't like it," and if I like it, she's gonna say, "I don't like it," or if I don't like it, she's gonna say, "I like it." That's the way she is. All right, so this is the airplane backlog, which has grown enormously. The defense backlog. and then services backlog. Okay, so backlog is, how do they define backlog actually? It'd be interesting. Different companies define it differently. Unfilled orders. Definitive contracts have not been executed. Customers have the unilateral right to terminate. Okay. This is very important here. This is airplane deliveries. So we're gonna 737 deliveries. They delivered 396, 387, and 263. Okay, that looks pretty good. 747 deliveries. It looks like they don't do many of these. They deliver like none. Is that because is that the max, or I don't know? It says here, I guess this, what is the 747? Boeing 747. Long-range, wide-bodied airliner. Okay. Oh, they no longer make it. It's the OG plane. Got it. I could probably just exclude this, right? All right. 767. Oh, is that? Oh, I see. That's just Air Force One. Got it. I'll buy a 747 when my puts print. This guy is a fool. Julio. All right. 777 and then the 787. So if you look at how many planes they deliver in a year, it's not that many. These are pretty expensive little MFers. So let's see, total airplane deliveries, right? It's like delivering pizza. 340, 480, 528. Well, if this was a startup, that'd be a lot of growth, but I'm guessing 2019 and 2020 wasn't so good, but we'll see. So do I have those right? 340, 480, 528. Cool. Interesting. So these are firm orders. Cumulative firm orders. Huh. I don't know if I can, I don't know how to parse this. It seems strange. Cumulative firm orders. So these are orders that accrue since the start of the project. But without deliveries, we have cumulative deliveries too, right? But is it cumulative net firm orders? I guess a firm order you can't cancel, right? Tell you what, I'm just going to do the cumulative firm orders for the 737 because that's the biggest one. And if it's important, I will go back and finish the job. But I'm a little mystified as to how this will be useful. But that's because I'm not in defense and aircraft analyst. I know biopharma, I know software, that's about it. But I do my best for my Godelians. So many So many requests. I wish I had all day and all night to analyze stocks for you, but I make stock software, so, and also voice software I've been spending a lot of time on. That's been pretty important. Okay, now we have the military side. Wow, okay, let's do these. This is like a biotech income statement. So many different products. Or big pharma, more likely. Okay, so the FA-18, what is that? And these are deliveries. The FA-18, so are these the Hornets? McDonnell Douglas, that was the old company Boeing bought a long time ago. I'm pretty sure Boeing bought McDonnell Douglas. Almost certain. Yes, they merged with Boeing in '97. I'm going to jot that down here. 1997. Well, let me do this. 1967, McDonnell merges with Douglas. 1997, McDonnell Douglas merges with Boeing. Okay, so this is the FA-18 fighter. FA-18. So are these all Hornets, or are some of them Hornets and some of them aren't? We got the 18C, supersonic. So this would be a really cool industry to follow professionally. You know, imagine going to the Boeing headquarters and they're like, take a look at this, the new FA-19. And you're like, holy shit. And you have to get like security clearance to see it. Like, the CEO's like, you want to take a ride? Let's go. That'd be sick. Yeah, I'm designing a bunch of software that makes the stock analysis methodology better, because the way it's done now is not done great, and a lot of people on Wall Street have followed my methodology, but I've mostly been using off-the-shelf software. But after programming for the last 10 years, like, I feel like I can make better software that streamlines this process. Every fund that does fundamental analysis has to go through this process. And whether it's quant or fundamental, both sort of, even the best professionals, their processes aren't great. And most of them, the really good ones, design their own software, which is unnecessary. So we'll see. Maybe I can make some more changes to this industry. RAG is probably not going to be too useful. We've done a lot of experiments with RAG. Like a lot. RAG is okay for like an automated analyst. We've made automated analysts. We have one coming called Kathy, named after you-know-who. Kathy is an automated analyst you can talk to, but the RAG part's the easy part. Anyway, let's get back to the FA-18. What is this thing? They've been making it since 1978. They retired the Hornet in 2019. Huh. They still shipped a bunch. Twin engine, high G pull-up. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Unbelievable, right? Transonic flight producing a flow-induced vapor cone. I mean, if that isn't, you know, that doesn't motivate you or like instill awe in you, I don't know what will. This is a man-made object. Unbelievable, right? It's just beautiful. So there's F-18A as well. We'll go through the whole list of products. So they said they plan to use the FA-18 until the early 2030s. That's the USMC, which I'm guessing is the U.S. Military Command or something like that. Okay, so there's the AB Hornet and the CD Hornet. The CD Hornet looks like it's newer. There's the EF Super Hornet. Okay, I think I got this. So the E is single seat and the F is dual seat. That's an expensive ride. This started in '95. GE engines. Second crew member for weapon systems officer. So one is a pilot and one is does the weapons. If it were me, I'd be doing both. I don't need a second guy. All right? I'm doing both. It's called the Rhino in operational use. And there's the Growler, whatever that is. All right, enough of the bullshit. How do I get my hands on one of these? I gotta call Putin? I want one for the backyard. Listen, I'm not confused. This is a new industry to me. Okay, U.S. Marine Corps. That's the USMC. I'm not confused, but this is definitely fascinating. I've never studied military jets. Have you? Some of these are on display. I need one for the backyard, man. Okay, so the 18 C&D, one crew member, 56 feet. How long is that? Probably from here to the end of my apartment. Maybe not that long. Yeah, maybe about right. Wingspan 40 feet. Height 15 feet. You got to be a short guy to fit in there. Short king. Okay. £23,000. It's a big sucker. Max speed. What is that? Mach 2? 1,000 knots. Oh, there it is. Mach 1.8. Range 1,000 miles. So let's see. If you had to scramble me from DC, how fast could I get to New York? DC to New York miles. Oh, that's short. 200 miles. So you can cover that in what? Mach. Well, we know what the top speed is, right? It is 1,190 miles. So 204,1190, 0.17, 0.17 times 60 minutes. So 10 minutes from New York to at full speed with no takeoff or landing kind of issue. 10 minutes, New York to Now I need that for my Miami trip. I don't think you want to be in that at Mach 1.8 either. Might be a little turbulent. Okay, armament. That's without traffic. We got a rotary cannon. Damn. This shit looks... Seen a lot of guns. That's a gun. The M61A1 Vulcan. Air-cooled Gatling-style rotary cannon. 20mm rounds. Damn. We got rockets. Oh wait, we got hard points, which inside of which go rockets. So there's the Hydra 70. Damn. And the Zuni. Okay. And we got Sidewinders. The Sparrow. Mavericks. The Slam ER. God dang. The Harm anti-radiation missile. What? They don't even have a picture of this motherfucker. These are cruise missiles. Air-launched cruise missile. Anti-ship missile called the Harpoon. That's not on the ship. That's not on the plane. Looks too big for that. Maybe that's just a launcher. I don't know. The bombs it holds a B-83 nuke. Sweet. B-61 nuke. Okay, those are probably the older planes. The JDAM. We know the JDAM. The Paveway. These are the, I guess, the stuff it can hold, right? The Gator. Cluster bomb, sensor fused weapon, damn. Rockeye 2. So I guess they go out with loadouts, right? They don't all hold all of these weapons. Obviously, there's no plane that could hold all these weapons, but you get loaded out with, say, 2 of these and 1 of these, or whatever the case may be. Okay, Hughes radar. So they don't use the Boeing radar, but I'm not sure about that. That's really cool. Like I said, it would be pretty dope to be an analyst in this space. All right. And for all you people wondering, like, you could study all these and become like an independent analyst or join a hedge fund or a mutual fund and just be like, you're the nerd. You're the autistic nerd who's like, well, technically the F-18 range is smaller than the F-15 and it uses the Hughes avionics instead of the Boeing avionics, which gives it air superiority. And like people, some hedge fund manager who's like was a jock in college will be like, this fucking guy knows aircraft. We need this kid. And then like they'll put you in front of Boeing and Boeing will be like, how do you know so much about our planes, young man? And you'll be like, I don't know. I've always been fascinated by them. And they'd be like, maybe you want a job with Boeing. And believe me, that's how this works. That's how I did pharma. In pharma, I was exactly the same way. Talking about every medicine, talking about every, you know, thing like that. So what's the Boeing F-15? All right, so this is their advertisement for it, at least. Tactical fighter fleet. Oh shit. God damn it.
This F-15 is a completely new platform.
to me, this is boss shit. I love this stuff. Like, this doesn't get your heart going. Like, fuck a car, man. Some people like Bugattis. This is the shit. Look at it. It even's got that beep for backing out just like a car. Dang! Imagine being in one of these. Holy shit. These are Boeing guys. He's wearing a Boeing suit. Man is flying upside down. Ah, damn. And that is why you do not want to fuck with the United States of America. Okay, they stopped shipping that, or they're slowing down the shipping of that one. Now the T7A Red Hawk. This is... Oh, what the fuck this is? This is a training system. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming regularly. I kind of do it when I have some time, but I'm doing it more often for sure. Thank you for asking. I don't think I'm ever going to get into this business. I'm not a hard tech guy. CH-47 chin hook. So the chin hooks are the... Aren't those the big, like... Yeah, there we go. Did they change the name from chin hook? Chinook. Developed into the Chinook. Okay, so this is the Chinook. It's not chin hook, it's Chinook. So this is a transport helicopter. Okay. Chinook. Transport helicopter, is that right? Yeah. Need something just right for assault missions, but also for transport. Load up the Chinook. Alright, so what are they doing with the Chinook? They've got two kinds of Chinooks. I'm going to group those for simplicity's sake. They got the refurbished. Got the refurbished model. Alright, now we got the Apache. So the Apache's a helicopter. Man, if they could get me one of these, like on the low. Man, I got the damn Apache in my backyard. Let's take that shit for a ride. Let's go. That's a flex. You know, these guys, these rappers, Andrew Tate, they're flexing these fucking bullshit Bugattis or whatever. Man, I got the Apache. Oh, I want to know the price of all these as well. You can buy an Apache? I don't think you can buy an Apache. What's the current price? 52 mil. God damn. Okay, let me see here. 52 mil. I mean, if you have $1 billion cash, that's not bad. Maybe next year. It's not going down this year. This is a fucking attack helicopter. God dang. Hellfire missiles, need those. These are $1 million a piece, I think. Although Anduril's probably going to make better ones. Anduril's the exciting company in defense. Maybe Boeing should buy Anduril and make Palmer the CEO of Boeing. Now that would be fucking sick. Like, all right, we're going to merge with Anduril on the condition that this man, the man with the Hawaiian shirt, he becomes the CEO of Boeing. Man, that'd be the coolest shit ever. That would be the... That's the solution to Boeing's problems. Alright, so the Apaches, and now you've got the Gray Wolf. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't really care, to be honest. But let's look really quick. Gray Wolf, okay, that's also an attack helicopter. Or some kind of helicopter. Multi-mission helicopter. Okay, great. Can't spend all day geeking out on military equipment. Okay, the KC-46 tanker. I'm guessing that's just a tanker. Okay. Just making sure all of these numbers are right. Okay. The P-8. That's pretty nondescript. Boeing P-8. That's the Poseidon. Anti-submarine warfare aircraft. Okay. Oh, patrol and reconnaissance. Okay. That's reconnaissance with 2 S's? I don't even know. Alright. Thank God that's it. Commercial sats. So the commercial satellite business, they've probably been destroyed by SpaceX, right? And on the military satellites, they haven't done any either there. So SpaceX has just been whooping their ass in general. Okay, they have a different... Okay, this is their earnings from operations for services, right. Okay. Now, the important part, cash flow. Well, it's not bad. But they have CapEx. Got to keep that in mind. The thing about Boeing is that it's kind of too big to fail in a lot of ways. It's like the government sweetheart. Like, if you work in the government, there's always a job for you at Boeing if you're in DoD or stuff like that. Oh, that's interesting. Someone's saying that the satellites are different heights. Fair enough, I suppose. All right, some real financials. This I can sink my teeth into. This I'm the expert in. Nobody can fuck with me on financials. Take that to the bank. Find me a YouTuber who knows more about financial statements. Find me one. I challenge you. I've seen every kind of income statement, balance sheet, every kind of reconciliation, every country, every currency. Shkreli's done it. Okay. This is a bit of an odd business. Canada's got some capitalism, you know, they're backpedaling for a while there. We'll see if they go full Soviet communism. I hope not. Our neighbors to the north, man, we need them. I need all the pretty girls from Montreal, all the pretty girls from Toronto. Come to daddy, man. That's what I need Canada for. Now, they got some businesses there. Shopify is there. Shopify is their big business. Punjabi. I like Indian culture too. Okay, other income. That's CIA bribes. I'm kidding. Little other income section here. Don't worry about it. It's classified. I'd be kind of weirded out being a Boeing analyst on Wall Street. I'd ask the CFO some stuff, and they'd be like, "Why are you asking so many questions?" Like, it's my job. They'd be like, "Torture this man. Follow this man right now." Sir, my stock pick is a matter of national security. I'm on a need-to-know basis for your guidance, the assumptions in your guidance. So many Wall Street jokes here. All right. So they've been unprofitable 3 years in a row, according to the income statement. But we know, because you're not a noob, you know the income statement is one half of the story, the other half is the cash flow statement. GAAP, net income, is one thing. That's income statement. Cash flow statement sort of tells the truth without the accounting bullshit. But the accounting bullshit's sometimes important too. You can't take one without the other. So, love and marriage. Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. Look at the inventories. We usually don't look at companies like this, where their inventories are so large, but they have a year's worth of revenue of inventories. In biopharma, you don't have that. In software, you don't even have anything close to that. So you don't even have inventories at all. So inventories, the problem with inventories is working capital, right? Inventory costs you money to make. You have to buy the raw supplies, you have to make the work in progress, then you have to make the finished good. All of those cost capital, right? All of those are your money that you have to spend. So there's quite a intensity, it's sometimes called capital intensity, that comes with that. That's kind of why Boeing is like fundamentally a shit business, but we'll get into that later. There's a trade-off for having a monopoly. It's not a shit business in that sense. But take a look at the property, plant, and equipment, which I've told you guys many times is one of the most important things. It's actually rather small relative to what I would have predicted. They only have 10 or 11 billion dollars of capital. That's not that much of fixed capital. You would have thought a serious manufacturing company like this would have massive amounts of factories. That's odd to me. I wonder if it's made through, subcontractors or something like that. But the margins are so low. Look at the gross margins, 10%. Something's not adding up here. Because, I just don't understand the business model, but like, you have a 10% gross margin as a manufacturer. That's less than... what kind of company has that low margins? But with that low margins, you would think you have this massive CapEx. No. You know what it is? It's probably all these subcontractors. That's what it's got to be. Tons and tons and tons of subcontractors that are there. This guy makes the windshields. This guy makes the radar. This guy makes the seat. This guy makes the chassis. That's probably what's going on there. Okay, wait. Hold up, wait. All right, 137 in assets. How much debt? His balance sheet is not great, it looks like. All right, so the inventory, you can kind of assuage that issue by getting these advances. So you can kind of make your customer pay for some of that inventory as it's progressing. So they're not completely out of their own pocket, so to speak. We're looking at Boeing right now. They have a huge pension liability because they were such a unionized company. Stockholders' equity, negative. That's just an embarrassment, man. Get your cash up. Boeing should have a fortress balance sheet, not have debt. That foreign governments can buy that debt in the open market. Come on, man. Okay, here is the all-important cash flow statement. And I'm going to do an abridged version because we don't have that much time. This was supposed to be a quick and dirty analysis, but I kind of got lost in the sauce, as they say. But here's the cash flow, and note the difference, right? You have, I'm going to bold these two. So all you noobs out there, I know there's a few noobs that are watching. Most of you are seasoned pros because you've been watching me, but some of y'all are noobs, and I hate noobs. Net income. That is the profit left over after you deduct everything from revenue. That is the product you've sold. In this case, planes and missiles. All right? They sold $62 billion of planes and missiles. They had negative $5 billion. They lost money. Next year, $67 billion planes and missiles. But all the costs to make them, they lost $5 billion. Okay? $78 billion in revenue. All the costs, negative $2 billion. So this makes it look like it's an unprofitable business. This is called the income statement. This is GAAP accounting, generally accepted accounting principles, which means this is how you treat these numbers. These numbers just don't come out of nowhere. They're numbers that they have principles behind them. There's a second set of books called the cash flow statement. It has different principles. This basically, the income statement, is basically an idealized version of accounting principles that are meant to convey a certain set of thoughts. The cash flow statement is the same thing, but it's conveying a different set of thoughts. In this case, it's conveying how much cash did we make this year. That is not the same thing as net income. Although they both are pointing to that number. One points at it from an accounting perspective. One points at it from a pure cash perspective. They're both important to look at. In this case, the cash flow from operations for Boeing was $6 billion if you look at the cash flow statement. But if you ask the same question of the income statement, it says negative $2 billion. So on one hand, we have $6 billion profit. On the other hand, we have negative $2 billion of net income. Somebody says accruals. Yes, there are principles in the income statement that will lead to expenses being treated a certain way and revenue being treated a certain way. And those differences can be big, as you can see. If you just look at the income statement, Boeing is losing money. They're unprofitable. What does that mean? Well, if you look at the cash flow statement, they are profitable. They made $6 billion last year. They'll probably make more than that. Look at the trajectory. Negative 3 last year, or 2 years ago. Negative $3 billion. Then positive $3 billion. Then positive $6 billion. Okay? What about CapEx? CapEx is important. CapEx is excluded from the income statement. So we can't look at cash flow from operations without giving some credence to CapEx. Let's give that credence. And we get something called free cash flow. Free cash flow number is a little smaller because we're excluding the capital equipment. But we've excluded that. And it's still profitable at $4 billion. I think you can take these numbers to the bank more than you can take the net income numbers to the bank. So, assuming that's the case, let's look at the cash the business has. They have $17 billion in cash. Let's look at the debt. 52 in debt. So the enterprise value is $142 billion.